Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. So let's just jump right into this, all right? As a fellow student looking at the horizon right now, well, honestly, it can feel incredibly daunting. I mean, we're about to step out of our little academic bubbles and straight into a workforce that is being fundamentally turned upside down by artificial intelligence. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's the literal elephant in the room at every single graduation ceremony, every career counseling session, and in those late-night conversations we're all having with our friends. So today we're going to unpack a really powerful commencement address that tackled this exact anxiety head-on. We'll break down the reality of this AI transformation, figure out exactly why we're all feeling so overwhelmed, and, most importantly, talk about how we can actually reclaim our future in all this chaos.
To really get a sense of where we are right now, think back to last December. Time magazine picked its Person of the Year for 2025. And guess who it was? The architects of artificial intelligence. Think about that for a second. It wasn't a world leader, it wasn't some singular tech visionary or a pop culture icon. It was literally the builders of this specific technology. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about where the world's focus is right now, doesn't it? It grounds us in this wild reality that the people shaping AI are currently the most central figures in our global narrative. And for those of us just trying to figure out our entry-level career paths, seeing the architects of AI completely dominate the headlines, man, it's a massive, unavoidable wake-up call to the era we're walking into.
So this brings us to what we're actually dealing with here, a technological shift that is honestly like no other. Now, obviously, when we look back at history, we've had major technological shifts before. Think about the Industrial Revolution or, the birth of the internet. But right now, we are standing on the very edge of a transformation that's going to be larger, faster, and just vastly more consequential than anything that came before it. For us entering the job market, getting this into our heads is absolutely crucial. This isn't just creeping along, it is moving at an unprecedented pace and scale. We're not just talking about learning a new software update on the job. No, this is a fundamental, ground-up rewiring of the entire job market, and it's happening right before our eyes.
And here's the thing. This AI transformation is going to directly touch literally every single profession. But, and this is a big but, rather than just evaporating all the jobs, it's actually creating entirely new environments. Picture this. Classrooms where we might teach alongside personalized AI tutors. Hospitals where we could heal people using advanced predictive diagnostics, or laboratories where we massively, drastically accelerate research. These aren't just hypotheticals. These are the specific arenas where our generation is going to find immense, brand new opportunities to apply AI. We're not just watching our prospects disappear. Yes, it's a monumental shift for sure, but it's one that opens up entirely new doors for us to pioneer.
But of course, knowing all the opportunities doesn't just instantly erase the worry, right? Let's talk about why we are all feeling so incredibly anxious.
Because I hear you, I really do. I know exactly what so many of us are feeling right now. There is this deep, palpable fear running through our generation. It's this heavy feeling that the future has already been written. That, the machines are coming and the jobs are evaporating. And then you pile on the fact that the climate is breaking, politics are completely fractured, and we're inheriting this massive mess that we definitely did not create. Let's just pause and validate that for a second. The speaker in our source material acknowledges this directly and with so much empathy. This dread, this cascading avalanche of anxiety we feel as students stepping out into what feels like a totally chaotic world, it is completely rational. That is a heavy, heavy burden to carry into your early professional life. So, why does this perfectly rational fear feel so utterly inescapable? Well, here's the kicker. It's because social media platforms operate on algorithms that have learned with absolute terrifying precision that fear earns clicks. Anxiety drives engagement. Those perfectly rational anxieties we just talked about, the evaporating jobs, the machines, the fractured politics, they are being actively amplified. They're literally weaponized every single day by the very platforms we use to connect with each other and get our news. We are being fed this constant algorithmic loop that whispers, you have no control, because that deliberately keeps us scrolling and keeps us anxious. Honestly, realizing that there's a machine behind the curtain actually profiting from our generational panic, that is the first, absolute, most crucial step in breaking free from it.
And once you see that machine for what it is, you can start doing the most important thing of all, reclaiming your agency. Because the future is definitely not pre-written.
Look, to speak of the future as though it has already been decided, to just give in to the idea that our fate is completely sealed, doing that is surrendering the one single thing that actually matters, your agency. The future doesn't just magically arrive out of nowhere. Assuming we're heading towards some doomed, inevitable future is exactly what that fear algorithm wants from us. But giving up? That's surrendering the only real power we hold as the next generation. Reclaiming your agency starts with one fundamental realization. This future gets built. It doesn't just happen. It gets actively shaped by the people who step up and choose to build it.
So if it doesn't just arrive on our doorstep, where does the future actually come from? Well, it gets built in laboratories, in dormitories, in startups, in classrooms, even in legislatures. Do you notice anything specific about that list? These aren't mysterious, unreachable fortresses guarded by billionaires. These are the very rooms and campuses we occupy right now. The future isn't some abstract, unstoppable force falling from the sky. It's actively constructed in the dormitories we sleep in, the startup incubators we join, and the classrooms we are literally graduating from today. It is such a highly empowering reminder. The power to shape the AI era, it is literally sitting right here, in our own hands, in our own everyday environments.
Which brings us to the final, absolute biggest takeaway for today's explainer. The people building this future, it's going to be you. It's going to be people exactly like you. So the ultimate question is, what will you build? Are you going to let an algorithm dictate your anxiety and surrender your agency? Or are you going to step into those classrooms, those hospitals, those laboratories, and those startups and actively shape the AI era yourself? The tools are entirely in our hands. Thank you so much for joining me today. Seriously, take a moment and think deeply about what you want to build with this new technological shift. I'll see you next time.